You just mustn't, you'll have to take them into the home. Open them.
Okay, sorry. Okay, everyone, I think we are ready. Okay, everyone. Sorry, I know now, like with the rain, I'll have to talk super loud and I'll try my best. Um, yeah, okay, let's go. Okay, so this is our first meeting this year, and I actually feel anxious because there's so much happening. I'm so scared that I'm gonna miss something. So please just bear with me. Um, yeah, I think firstly I just have to say welcome to all our guests. No, 1 second. Um, we have decided just to let all the Maritzburg Club members know. We've actually decided to invite Newcastle Club and Danhauser Club to our meeting, just to be a bit like inclusive. So the Newcastle Club, they are not part of PSSA. They're a social club. They just get together and look at their photos and comment and I phoned and I said, well, we would like you just to join in on some of our meetings every now and again, just so that they can see what we do as well. And then there's a club in Danhauser, and they also, I said the same, they are part of PSSA, they're only 8 members. So I said to them, well, you're welcome to join in on our meeting if you guys like and just get a bit of extra exposure. So also with what Des is we'll talk about on tomorrow night. Like we've also invited them with Highway to be like a big community because that's what we strive to do. So welcome on, yeah, so welcome to everyone old and new to this new year. We are very excited. Like you see, we hit this ground running this year. We've got an exhibition, we've got the Congress, we've got sports outings, training, like there's a lot happening, okay? So, obviously beginning, can you guys hear me? That's fine. Feels like I have to go louder now. Sorry guys, it's raining here. So quite loud in the studio. So we have our AGM. I think the record's something like 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but we're not going to time this, please. So, first up, if everyone can make sure they sign the agenda form. Okay, and I've included the pledge again. I think it's just a good reminder that we are a friendly competition club. We need to be respectful and obviously no AI and support each other. So just a like small reminder that this is what we stand for. Okay, so this is our agenda. So it's welcome, attendance, notice of meeting, confirmation, matters. Okay, I'm going to go through all of that. I did post the notice for the meeting with the minutes and the nomination form all on WhatsApp on the 14th of Feb. I did send out a reminder because no one replied, so I just had to make sure everyone got the notice. So yeah, is there anyone that has anything to say about last year's minutes?
No, they're fine.
All fine. Okay, thank you. Oh wait, attendance, Sandra, Tracy, Rob, and there was someone else. Tracy and Rob did make apology, so you can just write apology. But I see they are on Zoom, so they're just not here in person. Okay, can we get anyone to, what do you call it? Accept, propose. Okay, Heidi and Paul. And I'll adjust my volume as well. As the rain goes softer. Okay. Sandra, so financials. That
Yes.
yeah, you can just stand here and talk.
It's fine, I'll say one. They're supposed to vote for 3 screens, and just a total. Okay, that's it.
Jerry said just look over.
No, you're going to be on the first screen. You know that. And then it's like, we changed the rate of the financial year in, so for 2 months. I don't,
No. Wait, one more. We did make a profit. Okay, with all our expenditure, we did make a profit. We also transferred money from our current account to the 32 day because there was a surplus, so we'll get more interest as well. Yeah, and then so let's see here. Yeah. So that was in a nutshell the financials. Is there any questions? Sorry, I know the rain is now picking up again. Is there any questions re the financials? Okay. So just to highlight what Sandra also said, there was a big amount in sundry expenses. So we tried to be a bit more transparent and just break it up to show you where that money actually went to. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. Okay, can we have a approved and a second approved? Me, okay. Thank you.
You see that?
So it is
You see that?
Maxi
Maxi and Doug.
and Doug.
Accepting the financial.
Yes.
No.
Okay. And then, like we said, membership fee is going to stay the same. We're not going to change it for the year. We're quite happy. We're making more than enough. So all of that is fine. Okay. Nomination forms. So everyone's kind of still in term one. We had almost like a new leaf over and everyone's on term one. So your ordinary members, Heidi and Fronel said they'll stay on. Terry and Paul said they'll stay on. Sandra's in first term. She took over half of it, but she's in first term. And then myself and Vaynant, you stuck with us for another year. So sorry. Okay. Thank you. Now, appreciation. I'll do this quick. I have to say thank you for Derek for helping us with the financials. We appreciate your help and always being so sufficient and helpful. We really, really appreciate it. Leon, thank you for what you do as well. Like I know, like you've been stepping up in mentorship and helping. I'm talking about what's to come. There's a lot of preparation in what you do. So we appreciate you stepping back into the role. We really do. Bertie, thank you for still opening the studio for us. I feel like I did this at the annual awards, but it's so necessary just to say thank you. Thank you, Des. I can't even start. Like, I think I talk more to you than my husband today, just to make sure everything's on track and that everything just goes smoothly. So we really appreciate it. For the rest of the committee, wherever you guys are, thank you for. I know, like it's a mission to get together once a month, but it's so necessary, and our club is growing, and we have so many members, and I know our members appreciate the work that we put in, and you can see it in the results. So yeah, I think that's everyone. Okay, Tom. Done.
You did.
No, that was the last one.
Oh,
Okay. So, right? Yeah. Is there any questions, anything about the AGM before I cut it off completely?
no.
Oh, thank you. I tried to put it with a theme. I don't know. I think we were a bit longer. I had a bit more to say. Okay. Oh, thank you. Uh, thank you. It's quite because I enjoy doing this, and it's my way of giving back for something that means so much to me for the past few years. So it's a nice way to give back. Okay. Now, we continue. I just want to see if there's any messages on here. They're recording and okay.
No.
She was happy when she saw us here. Yeah. Okay. So now to like everything else that's happening in this club. I think I just want to say this again. I think the banter group took off quite well. Like I have to say, I enjoy the photos that's coming up. I enjoy the banter that's on it. So please keep using this platform. If you have any questions, I mean, there's Leon, Paul, Terry, like all our seniors are on there as well. And it's nice to get everyone's input from a question.
Can I say something about it? I joined it to watch you all and to shut it down in 24 hours because I know you would fight and it would be awful. It's one of my favorite groups. So please join. It's really, really fantastic. I mean, I was like, Colin. And it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Then also just a reminder again, we've got a wonderful website. I've actually went on to a few websites and I think our one is just phenomenal. Like there's so much information on there. Yeah, so thank you very much, Dick. We appreciate it. Then also now with all this training and all the recordings and all the Zoom, we are really trying to just put everything on YouTube. So we are really trying the possibility or opportunity is not always there to record, but when we can, we are definitely trying to be a bit more active there so that everyone can go catch up. And even like if a new member joins in 8 months' time, they can actually go onto our YouTube and have a look at everything that's happening. So please use that as well. Okay. Okay, then.
Okay, so in the new JAC course, and we'll talk about the JAC, like in the new JAC course, the judging accreditation program, the judges are told that you comment, you score, and then that's it. Leon and myself and Terry would love to actually then take the photos that we commented on, do what we actually told you to do, and then show you what it looked like afterwards. And the JAC course says, actually, no, you mustn't do that. So we're thinking, well, we're just going to have to get around this somehow. So the Wednesday after the meeting, so next week, Wednesday at 7 o'clock on the Wednesday, so it'll be the fourth Wednesday, for half an hour to 40 minutes, it's not going to be long. Leon and I are going to choose some images and we're just going to edit them. It's light editing, there's no layers, there's no masking, using Photoshop and Camera Raw. And we will show you the possibility of taking from a silver to a gold to a merit, or if it's a merit to a salon. Okay, it's very, very simple editing. We will have, as we go along and we see how it's working, and I know it'll work nicely, we'll have like a guest presenter come along and show us like something a little bit more complicated, maybe, especially for portraits. I know people like to do really fancy things for portraits, but please join us next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and we'll run through some images. Like, and we're calling it the Pixel Playground because we're just going to play, and I hope none of you are offended. I think everyone likes it before and after. Yes, and then also don't forget we'll be doing the next technical challenge, I think the first Wednesday of the month. I think we're then going to do the tech, I think it's portraiture, and also fall under the Pixel Playground. Leon and I will carry on doing that. Okay, thank you.
Oh, so now it's got a name. So our thing's got a name.
It's not a photograph, it's not real.
Yes. Okay. So also something that we're hoping will go into
And then on the
YouTube. Okay. Then outings and workshops. I'm scared for this because I'm so scared I'm going to miss something. Okay. So obviously today the 18th, remembered this one. Okay. So that's done now. So tomorrow's the doozy. I saw there's about 10 people going. If anyone changes their mind, just let me know. I'll send you the information. We're planning on meeting at 6:15 at the engine garage in Hayfield, and then we'll take convoy to Mission Rapids. Then Thursday is then the training with Highway that I spoke about now briefly. So that's 7, and there will be 2 speakers, which this is one of them. So also nice to be in a community with.
And Benito also joining.
Yeah.
Benito Club, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it also will be your call, yeah.
Okay, and then very important in bold red, we need to get our images sorted for our open day exhibition. we are very excited about this. I think we've been to the venue probably 7 times. Okay, no, not 7, but almost 7 times to go and check everything. So we renting Riverwood College's hall, and they've got display boards. We're gonna have tea and coffee there. We're gonna have like a sign-up table. So for us members, it will be a nice social get together. Maybe a little bit of walk of memory lane, seeing everyone's photos. But please invite your family, your everyone, friends, everyone.
And even if they don't do photography,
I'm gonna
they
share.
know someone who does photography. So it's also an awareness thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone wants to ask.
How many images per person?
How many do you want to supply? There you go. That's
So
so.
so we've got boards and we'll put the A5s, A4s on the boards. The bigger ones, we've got lots of ideas for. They're going to go on chairs, they're going to go along the windowsill. So people go in and out. It's quite an immersive experience that we're going to create. So bring whatever you can and whatever you want. Yes,
Yes,
so
please.
you're
No,
welcome.
they compulsory. Yeah,
Yes.
everyone that's won something, they must come back. But we want everyone to participate.
No fun art printing as well. Frame.
Frame.
Please bring your frame.
That's 100%.
Yes, we've got slideshows going. They've actually got, it's this huge, an assembly hall. They've got the projector up there and they've got a huge screen in the corner, which you plug your laptop in. So we're going to play it.
Yeah.
We're going to have our trophies there. We're going to have space just to sit and chat. Really, it's a very social
Event.
Yes, coffee, tea, muffins. Yes. If you want to see, oh, what's that?
Okay, we'll bring you one.
If you want to see some fun art printing, just ask. Had a printed by Jason. Absolutely beautiful. So if you want something different,
And whoever wins these, you can ask them to watch as well.
okay. You can
No, yeah, you want to ask something as well?
We've already got some orders. Okay, so I put them in. Okay.
Okay, wait, Bainat.
That's the moment, very special in the club labor. It's just going to be good. What's the technical stuff out of cross class and that. But I'm going to be involved with I've got three orders, it's already started pretty good. But I will adjust for classes. So don't worry about people that propose to me. I'm going to put that screen on that for a special. But then this on Jason stuff, all those legal things they've got. But Mr. Cars, those frames, $50 for a claim. Something in bring that claim with the public relation principle for that.
Yeah.
That's it, look, that don't go right. The small.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Even if you use a frame you have at home,
Yeah.
switch it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta bring the.
Yeah.
But we had an inventory of canvas in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a very arty image. So if you've got an art, have a look at the fine prints. It's beautiful.
Yes. I was considering it, but yes, please do. If you're gonna pass out, please, yes, they are more than welcome.
Can you remind me to send a message to Mark? We'll send it out. Okay. Yeah, just send me a WhatsApp and then I'll.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm coming out. There's another. Okay. Okay, so think about your questions. I actually have all side on the thing. Okay, then so the sports and all the announcements around it, we as a committee are really trying to get permission to go everywhere and anywhere, but we're not getting all the permission. Okay, so we've got something coming for that as well. I'll give you a chance. But some places said we are not allowed to. But if you want to, I want to say maybe check with us if there was permission or not. Please do. but try every opportunity. So whatever permission we get, we do post it on the WhatsApp group and you can read it there. There's a lot going on. Also, I haven't posted yet, but whoever wants to do a park run, take photos at a park run, just let me know. Hilton said we can go just three, so a few photographers, and we have to speak to Digby, and he said that's fine. So we're welcome to do park run as well. So there's so much opportunity. I know we can get good photos. Oh, yeah. So the plan is we are planning to get these, well, how do you say it? Lanyards.
Lanyards. Yes.
Made that will have like our logo, your name. It will state like
Accredited
photographer, just so that there's some recognition when you go places. And hopefully this will allow us to get a bit more photos or a bit more access. Just the plan.
Yeah.
For that. You can show your business card, you've got 3 empty. So, that's a game changer. Oh.
It used to be they wanted to charge 5,000. What's the thing? Okay.
That's good.
Yes. Yeah. And I started the process for Hilton College. I've got my fingerprint clearance. I'm getting my child abuser, a molester, all that cleared. And then I've got to do a course, and then I can get my Hilton College accreditation. So, yeah, I'm costing money, but yes, I'm determined.
That's good. Okay. So then also this month, believe it or not, we are not done yet. Sorry, everyone, if I can get your attention again. So on the 28th of Feb, we're all going to Jason's house to do some macro, those that won't. It's at Sakabula Estate. It will be at 6 in the morning and we will do breakfast and coffee. Okay, so, but whoever goes will give through more details closer to the time. Then 7th of March is, do you think you want to be a judge? Okay, so that's Des and Leon's going to do as well. So I think not just becoming a judge, but improving on your own photos. I have more insight on what they look at. How do you do this? All that type of thing. So I think this is going to be a big game changer for all of us to attend. And then 14th of March is when the open day is, from 9 till 3. And okay, so that I've said. Now, okay, so to get as much as exposure as possible, I am going to, from the last video, see who shared it. I'm going to make a list and we're going to have a prize for the winner. Okay, so we're going to do like a like share with your friends, and then I'm going to draw a winner. So the more you share,
shared a lot.
I know.
Times.
So
don't put those names, yeah.
So the more you share, the more chance you have to win. Okay. Technical challenge. Paul, you ready? You're up.
Slides for both of them put together.
Okay.
I'm sure already you saw these on the YouTube video. If you haven't, go and have a look at it. These are all the information. So this is just a very quick rundown of what photo occurred. So yeah, it's just the effect of the focus of background. Let's move on. So you get your typical vocal balls with those blurred thing in the background. If you've got a bright light in the background, it will show up for the vocal ball. A fast lens, probably the best for you, but Leon showed us a much smaller aperture, still produces bokeh. If your subject is far enough away from your subject, the subject is far away from the background, yeah. But generally, the smaller the aperture you use, the less the bokeh. The smaller aperture is like a 1.4 or 2.1. A small number, but it's a big opening.
Because the man made it. The woman that made it, it would make sense. Just saying.
What you'll find, Chief, we have a look at your lens. Look at the aperture blades that you've done. Because some lasers have a pretty rounded afterglow, and those give you a nice rounded, like a lot of the apertures are fairly scope, but a rounded one does give you a very nice paper. And also the greater the number of aperture blades, the better the paper, more rounded. Yeah. So as I said, you just need to have a good enough distance between your subject and your background. If you've got some fairy lights, put them away a bit, photograph your subject, and you'll get those nice focal colors. You don't have to just get focal colors. Any really out of focus background that's nice and smooth and looks artistic, that's folk, not just focal colors. Yeah. Leon, you agree with that? Sure.
First, the pulse. Personally, I just feel has some sort of technique.
Yeah.
It's not just the plain out of it. There is a little bit of definition to make vocal balls and vocal blobs are called. Yeah, it's a matter of taste. It is accepted that there is vocal, but personally, I just feel there should be some sort of it.
Yeah, for us, again, the easiest way is just to get these fairy lights of Christmas lights and use those, they work superb. Right, custom bokeh is something you can do if you want. A bit of a, yeah,
Mission.
a piece of cardboard, cut it to the size of your front lens, and then make a cutout and do a heart, or I've seen some really rude ones. Whatever you want, and it gives you that nice look. Any questions for Emil, for Leon and Des? Leon's a
Was
lost.
this made of interest yesterday? I was at Sagewood and I was photographing the weavers, which were non-existent. But in the background, there were some blocks of light coming on. It's amazing about that one. And I was using a log lens, and I was using 5.6, and there was go back. It was completely unexpected,
Yeah.
but there was just a couple of nice, strong blobs of light in the background, which creates this beautiful photo. So it's really there.
Not bad.
Yeah. So this is just a few more examples.
Is there a nice photo thing? It actually looked really, really good.
Yeah, they don't have very hard edges, so
Yeah.
they-
Byna. Sit op as jy lig af. Dan dink jy lig kan nou maar. Nee, dis okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest is just examples.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh, sorry, Bertie. Yeah. Okay, so next submission is bokeh, and the one after is portraits, and then we got macro. Okay. Feels like we should take a break or after all of that.
Just want to get the right score sheets quickly.
So,
We discussed it at the meeting. We said we were going to just see. But can you see? You put the finger. Let's see if it's.
I know it was needed. Yeah. Give a whole thing there.
It's really 7, so. The control.
What did I do monthly now?
We got
Not
them all now.
monthly. I need creative. Wait,
It's but it's
not it. Okay, while there's a pause, is there any comment? You're welcome to type or send on the WhatsApp group. It's 21 members. That's quite a lot of people phoning in. Sue's here. Oh, Laura, I hope the swimming's going okay in this rain. Take the photo, Sandra. I saw what you were doing. Take the photo. I, sorry, we're doing this. Oh, the swimming was wet. Makes sense, Laura. Makes sense. Anyone?
there we go. Okay, cool. Right, ready.
But now there's only one school still. Just unhide it. I think okay, so while Des is busy, just a recap. Let me just see. So just a recap, remember we changed how our photos get judged a little bit. So we've got 3 judges. Each judge gives a score, and they only comment on every 3rd photo. Okay, so we want to read out.
Which one?
Unhide. Wait, just click on the J. Click both.
Let's see.
We want to read out all 3 scores. So we're just changing that. Sorry. There you go.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 judges, they judged out of 15. So it gives you a score out of 45. And each judge comments every 3rd image. So just also for the new members, if it's okay. Wait, I see now. So if it's 11 or less, there's no reward. 12 to 20 bronze, 21 to 29 silver. So that's just how it got laid out. So 30, 38 gold, 39 to 45 is a com or a merit. Okay. Meet the judges. Shirley Gillett.
So there's 3 judges, and I'm going to call the 3 schools out, but you're not going to know which judge did what. Okay.
Okay. No image supplied. Okay. Ian Dodds. Jake was the internal judge. Okay, action and sport. Okay, Daisy, you take it from here.
Okay, cool. Okay, Daniel Zara versus Koji Yoshimoto. 13, 12, 13, 38. Gold, Martin Agius. Excellent work for 1 star, conveying a strong story with a good composition and very good exposure under difficult lighting conditions. I love the facial expression, looks rather anal.
Just want to see if I can move this quickly.
I think if you just leave it, it'll disappear. Yes.
But that,
Oh,
there you go.
there we go. Well done. Okay.
Oh, why?
She's got a broken finger.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
No,
it's just cut.
it's cut.
Just cut.
There you go.
Joyful Race, 10, 12, 10, 32, gold, Dina Adams. Great image for 1 star, well focused, and the image tells a story about the rough terrain the biker is traveling through. To take the image to the next level, use a radial gradient in Lightroom or Photoshop to lighten the biker's face, and you might want to reconsider reducing the exposure on the background, which will make your rider pop. Melbourne Finesse versus Darren Skerry, 12, 12, 12, 36 gold, Martin Agius. A really good shot, but a slightly faster shutter would have helped. I guess that this is from the same author as the previous high picture, but it's just not up to the same standard as that one. As a general rule, it is advisable to put 2 or more of your similar pictures into the same entry. Not advisable. It says advisable. It should be not, yes. Okay. Rugby, Malta versus Switzerland, 13, 12, 10, 35, gold, Martin Agius. A bum view indeed. The story is well conveyed by using the players on the side to frame the focal area. Well done. Image sharp and well exposed. Reflection, 10, 13, 13, 36, gold, J. Nubber. A good representation of an abstract composition image where the author has gone to great lengths to obtain the mood and intrigue, and therefore a well-deserved score. Okay, so also remember that if a judge has gone 7, 9, 14, and the judge who's given it a 14 is commenting, okay, then you'll hear the 14 comments. You're not hearing the 7 comments. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Determination, 11, 12, 10, 33, gold, Sandra Comrie. This is sharp, just where it needs to be, and is well composed with spot on exposure. But I think she is about to swim. Having fun, 11, 12, 9, 32, gold, Sandra Comrie. An image with the cute factor showing the expression on the child's face. Well exposed, however, composition could be strengthened by showing more of what is towing the youngster and timing the shot, if possible, with the front of a dinghy tilted upwards. Bravery, 10, 12, 9, 31, gold, Paul Nordea. Lots of action in the image, and the intensity is in the faces of the 2 players in the foreground. The image can be improved with a bit of dodging and burning, especially with the 2 bright areas above the player with the red jersey in the foreground. If it's as it's a sport, you are unable to remove the 1 bright spot. Very carefully move my mouse. Okay. Show jumping, 12, 12, 13, 37, gold, Terry Byrne. Clean, crisp and sharp. No more needs to be said. Nexus Splash Dash, 11, 12, 9, 32, gold, Carol Phillips. Great action shot with well-exposed water. Try lifting the shadows ever so slightly on the people's lower half in the boat, as detail is a little unclear. Black-shouldered kite and catch, 14, 14, 13, 41, Ernest Priest. An excellent image of the kite with what looks like a rat. There is a highlight in the eye and detail in the feathers. The exposure has been well handled and the background is exceptional. Eating time, 12, 12, 12, 36, gold, Mark Roberts. This certainly tells the story. Well done on your management of tonality and your choice of settings which allowed you to catch the water drops. Perhaps that leaf in the top left corner could have been cropped out. Oh, gone too far now. Flying Fish Eagle, 13, 12, 9, 34, gold, Ernest Priest. Congratulations on a very well composed image, capturing the essence of a fish eagle in full flight. Image well exposed and sharp, excellent for a 1-star worker. Heron, 12, 12, 9, 33, gold, Dina Adams. The head of the heron is well focused, and especially the eye. The black, greys, and whites of the figures are all well exposed, Unfortunately, the positioning of the heron has let you down. In Vlug, 9, 11, 9, 29 silver. I think that the rules would have allowed you to lift the shadows under the wing a bit. It's a little soft, perhaps as a result of severe cropping. Looking, 9, 11, 8, 28 silver. Sadly, image appears a little soft, perhaps because of the slow shutter speed and the kingfisher being a very long distance away from you. With bird photography, which can be hugely frustrating, always try and attain a shutter speed of at least 2000 to freeze the action and try and get a little closer to capture further detail. I can walk into the pond. Spoonbill, 9, 12, 8, 29 silver. A sharp image of the spoonbill with good exposure. Unfortunately, the background is too busy and is distracting. The branch in front of the heron's leg is also a distraction. In bird photography, the birds do not make things easy. Try cropping the image from the top and also burn the diagonal branch to be less distracting. Waiting, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold Mark Roberts. These birds are not easy to capture, but you've handled the black and especially the red very well. Separation of subject and background is good. It's actually orange, but you know, wait, I don't know why it's called red, Bishop. It's just my pet peeve. Front whited bee eater, 13, 12, 13, 38 gold, Ernest Priest. Good capture, image sharp, showing all the wonderful contrasting colors and feather detail. Well done. If possible, just give a tad more space below the tail. Virtual's Kugel, Makuzi, 10, 13, 8, 31 gold, Craig, Backhouse. A sharp image of the Kugel in its Kugel. It's Kugel, hey? In its habitat. The beautiful feathers are well captured, especially with the blacks and whites, which can be tricky. Unfortunately, the background is too busy and is distracting. Try reducing the highlights in Lightroom or Photoshop, which will improve your image. European roller and koozie, 9, 12, 8, 29 silver. Unfortunately, the bird is a little soft. Perhaps raising the ISO and closing the aperture would have helped a bit. Good use of birds. Perched up high, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold Tony Hardy. Image sharp, plain gold lotus leaves enhance the bird without any distractions. Well done. One might say a tighter crop is needed. However, in this instance, I am enjoying the negative space. Speared, 12, 12, 12, 36 gold, Tony Harley. A great action of the heroine. A lightening on the shadows and reduction of the highlights with a tailored contrast would improve the image and reduce the bright areas in the water, but well captured. Kinloch is Kinloch or Kinloch? Kinloch duck, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, Sandra Comrie. This is well exposed, although perhaps a bit over sharpened or overcropped. Nevertheless, I looked at this image for quite a long time. Those prismatic patterns in the water are fascinating and they match up with the speculum on the wing very well. More than a day's work here, 13, 12, 12, 37 gold, Derek Britton. Strong story conveyed, image well composed, sharp with excellent exposure. Congratulations. That's lovely. Mr. Brown on guard, 13, 12, 13, 38, gold, Derek Britton. A well-captured image with a great background. Both the exposure and sharpness are spot on. What has let you down is the perch on which the kingfish is standing. It is dominant in the image and does not lend itself to a nature category. But it's allowed. It's allowed. Hard hovercraft, 13, 11, 12, 36 gold, Derek Britton. Technically spot on, this is very well captured, perhaps better than you might realize. When hovering, these birds have to beat their wings very rapidly, but they hold their heads still as to be able to focus clearly on the water and fish below. Spurwing goose, 9, 11, 7, 27 silver. The focus on the face and eyes a little soft. I think your camera has the stronger focus on the wing. Unfortunately, some of the white area in the wing is overexposed with no pixels. European Roland Cruising GB 10, 11, 8, 29 silver. Again, a well taken image, but the background has not been kind to you and is very distracting. Hard at work, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, done kim plate, nicely exposed and sharper accounts. The UUF, the out of focus. The UUF lead in the bottom left gives the correct impression that you are looking into the reeds. I can never understand how these weavers, which have the thickest beaks, manage to weave with the finest nest materials. Southern yellow-billed hornbill in Kuzi, 10, 12, 9, 31, gold dye and backhouse. The image is sharp where it needs to be, showing lovely feather detail. The branch going through the hornbill is a little distracting. Woodland kingfisher in Kuzi, 12, 12, 10, 34, gold dye and backhouse. Well done, a good image of the woodland kingfisher. To improve part of image, the author must try to crop the image from the left and remove the thorns and part of the trunk tree. Also bring the crop down from the top slightly. Also use a radial gradient to increase the exposure of the eye. These small changes will give you an incredible image. Well done. I've chosen this image to fiddle with next Wednesday. I'll do that. Crab for lunch. Nkuzi, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Diane Backhouse. Well done, a good image of the woodland kingfisher. Huh? Oh, that's crab for lunch. What happened to the woodland kingfisher? Sorry, I've got so much out, including the interest. Everything. Everything's been unhidden. Sorry. Crab for lunch. 12, 11, 10, 33 gold, Heidi Taylor. Well captured. The sand grains below the bird show that your focal plane was just in the right place. Composition is striking with the line of the body making a strong diagonal. I wonder how you got the shot with a 35mm focal length lens. Thanks for lunch, 13, 12, 10, 35 gold Maynard lens. Great capture under difficult lighting conditions. Love seeing the raindrops which add to the charm of the greedy wet bird.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Grey heron preening, 11, 11, 10, 32 gold Terry Byrne. Great exposure and pin sharp image. The bright distractions in the background have brought your score down. Weaver bird nest building, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold Terry Byrne. This is nicely done with the bird being pin sharp, even showing the catchlight in the eye. It is interesting that the bird appears to be preparing an old nest with new and unusual materials. Perhaps it is a youngster with much to learn.
In time for Valentine's.
Go away, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Des Fantonda. Acrobatics and motion, such movement in the wings. The title and the wide open beak convey your story so well. Proper little tight above and below wings. Die Groot Dors, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Harvey van Jaarsveld. A difficult image to take as there is much going on and you ideally would want to focus on, say, the buffaloes that are on the dust. Have a look at the bottom front of the image and the right side where you included a few twigs. Open wide, 10, 11, 8, 29 silver. This picture has considerable potential but needs some processing. I dropped the exposure and highlights, increased contrast, and darkened the shadows and sharpened, all by small increments. The result was hugely different, but a good capture of a scary beast. Play around with this image and see what happens. Stalking, 11, 11, 9, 31 gold, Case de Ball. Wonderful sighting of a jaguar in action. Sadly, image a little soft on the head and eyes. Try sharpening slightly. Oh, is that blood? Face off, 12, 14, 9, 35 gold, Leslie Marchant. Well done, a perfect image of two rhinos sparring against each other. The exposure of the rhino has been well handled, as the dark skin often tends to be taken at a slightly darker exposure. To take the image to the next level, you may want to try dodging and burning the rhino's skin and cropping out the scar or burning it to reduce the brightness. Well done. Purple Haze, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Leslie Marchant. This macro shot is very well done. The front of the bee is tack sharp with every hair and droplet visible. Exposure and color are good, a good capture of a subject which moves around a lot. Ready for takeoff, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Dylan Evans. The warm colors of the dragonfly pop beautifully against the soft green background, and the diagonal stem completes the composition. The head needs to be slightly sharper. Shower time, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Craig Backhouse. The action on the water is great and well captured. Unfortunately, the elephant's head on the left of the frame and the cropped off elephant on the right has caused distractions. The texture in the elephant's skin has been exceptionally captured. By any other name would smell as sweet, 10, 11, 8, 29 silver. The front flower is reasonably sharp, and that is okay. It must be remembered that many flowers are naturally soft when seen close up. However, the background is overly cluttered with similar colored flowers, and so the front one is hidden by this. It's such a pity as your exposure and colors are good. Watching, 10, 12, 9, 31 gold, Gustav de Vet. The wide open grassland gives a feeling of scale and negative space, which would look wonderful on a wall. However, in a nature category, I would encourage you to have a tighter crop, giving the subject more visual weight. Hungry Monkey, 12, 15, 11, 38 gold, Heidi Taylor. Here the author has taken the time and focused in on the real interest and has captured a wonderful result. The baby monkey has been framed perfectly by the mother's skin. The eye has a perfect catchlight in them and the detail is great. What really makes this a great image is the mother's hand across the baby. Wonderful image, well done. Rhino Splash, 12, 11, 10, 33 gold, Heidi Taylor. This is technically very good, but I suggest that a horizontal flip would improve it. Hanging on, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Vaynard Lens. Good focus on the eye of this frog with attractive coloring. Although the shadow depth of field separates it nicely from the background, it would be a stronger image if more of the frog was in focus. King of the Garden, 10, 11, 8, 29, silver. A pleasant image, but unfortunately the head of the frog is not sharp, and your eyes drawn to the brighter left side of the image. On a spiky perch, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Melanie 9. This image of a suicidal behavior is perhaps a little exposed, or perhaps the agama would be given a bit more contrast. The saturation of the blue on his head could be lifted a bit. I do like that the subject and background are so well separated. I've chosen this image to do on a Wednesday. Red Eye Peeper, 12, 13, 13, 38 gold, young lens. Great macro shot, a strong, engaging, and colorful photo. The lighter areas on the throat and fingers are a tad overexposed. Dancing Jewel on opioids, 13, 11, 12, 36 gold, Rob Hart. Well captured image. Unfortunately, the head of the dragonfly is not sharp. Yeah. I'm not going to have a voice tomorrow. Red Assassin Bug, 12, 11, 13, 36 gold, Rob Hart. This image appeared slightly dark, but this may be due to my monitor. Otherwise, it is excellent. Okay. Robert Fly Rain Dance, 13, 13, 13, 39, Tom, Rob Hearts. Excellent details showing the eye texture and leg hairs beautifully. Great movement in the raised leg definitely adds to the energy. Congratulations. Smorgasbord, 13, 14, 12, 39, Com, Leon Hayes. An excellent macro image with great details right across the full body. The color and the thorax and the abdomen make this image. Maestro, 12, 12, 13, 37 gold, Jason Johnston. Excellent conversion to black and white with full display of tonal range. For those who want to use it, it's a really good example of Fibonacci's curve composition. The striking image earns the title, but maybe that should apply to the photographer as well. Maestro. Ready, steady. 11, 12, 12, 35 gold, Jason Johnston. Strong story, the human arm frames the dog nicely. Image is sharp, especially the dog's eyes where it counts. Eye. The monoconversion suits the mood and the composition gives the dog room to move into. Try not to amputate the feet of the human and tone down the watch where the light catches it. Fabi, tour in die verte. Tour in die verte. Ja, tour in die verte. 10, 14, 10, 24 gold, 12 van Jasveld. A thought-provoking image, which is great to see in a one-star photographer. What comes to mind is the contrast between the dog and the human as seeing and or thinking. It is great to see different images when the observer needs to interpret the image. No lift, 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, J Nubber. The mono treatment in this image is good with no blown blacks or whites. However, I have no idea what I'm looking at, and my eye just wanders around looking for a subject. The human figure is small and overwhelmed by the clutter around it, and the big square on the left then draws me away from that. And the older brickwork catches me, and so on. I think that's the story. Okay. Stepping in from the light, 10, 12, 10, 32 gold, Mark Gordon. A moody shot, the grainy monoconversion gives a documentary feel. The highlights are unfortunately very blown to the point where the entering person has lost detail. Try pulling back the highlights just enough to hint at detail in the doorway, keeping it bright but not obliterated. The lotus flower, 11, 12, 12, 35 gold, Mark Gordon. A well-handled black and white conversion. The detail in the lotus flower is so delicate and has varying stages of grey. A central crop might improve the image. Connections, 9, 11, 10, 30 gold, Paul Nordier. A well-spotted scene with many, myself included, would have missed. There is a line, stroke connection between the two human figures and their dogs. You see the higher figure first and then slide along to the second, but then the bent and broken tree, which is one and the third, points you back up again. Then there's a symmetry between the dark bottom left and the bright top right. In between is a burnt and shattered landscape. Lots to look at here. Daily Despair, 9, 12, 11, 32 gold, Paul Nordier. A moody scene creating a strong story. However, the overall image has been darkened a little too much. The fisherman lacks detail. Try lifting the shadows slightly on him and lifting overall levels as well. Jump, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Vaynant lens. A good action sport image which captures all the movement and forms a leading line from the left up to the rider's face. The whites could be toned down a tad. Rocket Chick, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Leon Hayes. No shortage of energy and movement here. The attention is drawn straight to the rocker and her flying hair, while the rest is hidden away. My only complaint is that bright overhead light, but not much can be done to take it down or even just a little. A feathery find, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, Alexandra Davy. Wonderful detail and textures in this image with a strong composition. Well done. Try removing the few very distracting bright spots in the background and giving a little more room on the right lower end of the feather. A moment of stillness, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Laura Smith. A difficult picture to take as bees keep on moving. The bee needs to be sharper and the image needs to be cropped first to show that the bee is the subject. A shallower depth of field would help you in this. Bongi back home, 12, 12, 12, 36 gold, Alex Davey. This picture tells a wonderful story about an old dog, sharp where it needs to be, but with the background suitably soft. Nicely done all round. Carmine, 14, 15, 11, 40, Jason Johnston. What can I say but wow, such an awesome capture and processing. Everything is technically correct. Huge congratulations. It's very hard to get a com in this new system. So well done. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, Laura Smith. That's one of your bestest captions for sure. Good focus on the main subject and good exposure. The image could be improved by a tighter crop. Nature's perfect pairing, 11, 11, 9, 31 gold, Laura Smith. This image might have been better in a portrait format as there is just too much greenery on the left. The flower and the bee are on vertical third, but the rule has not served well here. The key parts of the image are a little soft. Green veins, 13, 12, 10, 35 gold, Dylan Evans. Wonderful textures and lines, especially the strong diagonal of the main stem, which leads one's eye from the bottom to the top. Image is sharp throughout and well exposed. Well done. Sunset at Gordon's Bay, 11, 9, 8, 28 silver. Beautiful light on the harbour. There seems to be editing problems if you look at the mountains. Try re-edit of this image using the highlight and shadow sliders and don't over sharpen. The Hunter, 12, 11, 10, 33 gold, Tony Harley. Nicely done with a sharp focus on the face. Stepping through the sticks adds a nice sense of movement, but I suspect that this hunter is not too fearsome. Flaming Moonshine, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Minky Goodbrand. The complementary colors do this image such justice. The flame is perfectly exposed. Not sure if the glass shattered from the flame, however, the jagged edges create the texture. Image a little noisy, try denoising and post-processing. Image could be even stronger had you extended the blue background to the top. Gladiolis in the belt, 11, 10, 9, 30 gold, Joan Lindiger. A tighter crop would improve this image, but the real issue is that the background needs to be blurred to separate the gladiolus from the grass background. Lotus Bud, 13, 12, 9, 34 gold, Joan Lindiger. This shows a nice pick, I think it's supposed to be, of warm and cool colors. The flower is tack sharp, but is unfortunately rather engulfed by the background. Lotus flower opening, 11, 12, 9, 32 gold, Joan Lindiger. Beautiful lotus flower displaying all the petals. The soft pink works well against the green background. Overall image a little bright. By reducing the curve slightly, the contrast and impact would improve. Nivoteful Falls, 12, 9, 8, 29 silver. The movement in the upper part of the falls has been well captured using a slow shutter speed. The full falls should have given you a better perspective for the image. A small amount of straightening would also improve this image. Heron on log, 11, 11, 9, 31 gold, Liesel cubic. The bird is sharp and well exposed, but unfortunately those large shiny leaves in the background distract the viewer's attention. Using a wide aperture might have softened them down a bit. Another suggestion is that you crop if the original allows you to show a bit more of those interesting lumps on the log. Infinity, 13, 11, 9, 33 gold, Doug Cooperthwaite. Beautifully executed, you have nailed the long exposure without blowing the highlights. Composition is strong, displaying the energy and drama. Well done. Misty Moment, 10, 9, 8, 27 silver. A beautiful landscape taken in the mist. Unfortunately, there are color aberration issues and banding. One blade of grass should be removed in the foreground, and the tree in the foreground can also be removed. I think they need middle ground for the tree. Shades of pink, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Doug Cooperthwaite, tack sharp and mostly well separated from the background. Those buds in the two top corners could perhaps be blurred out a bit so as to make them visually weaker. The lights at the end of the path, 9, 11, 7, 27 silver. The strong leading lines show image has rhythm and repetition, leading one's eye into the frame. Composition could be improved by cropping or removing the stump, which appears dominant, and visually blocking the path. Try not to oversaturate, especially the yellows. Man image worth retouching. I don't know what man. The image is worth retouching. I don't know what man means. I don't know. Okay. Artichoke flower, 11, 12, 8, 31 gold, Joan Young. Unusual image showing the intensity of the flowery parts of the plant. The bracts are beautiful, and you might want to show more of the bracts in the next image you take. Colorful play, 13, 13, 9, 35 gold, Joan Young. For a 5-star, I think you could have made more of this very appealing image. Some more of the reflection would definitely have raised the score into the gold category. Okay, so that was by the 9-star judge, the 9-point judge.
Yeah, I see it on here as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. Joe, something on your camera. That's what. Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
We'll look into it. Again.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, now that's all I see. Okay. All right. Low set sunflower, 997, 25 silver. Attractive use of low saturation, which enhances the textures. Unfortunately, your depth of field is a little too shallow, with more of the wood in focus in the sunflower where it counts. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Cornet apple. Both the dung beetles contrast well with the dung ball, and the depth of field used is well chosen. What could improve the image is to reduce the exposure on the background and crop the image from the right side. Sunshiny day. 12, 12, 13, 37 gold, Tracy Rhodes. Beautiful image which is well composed and exposed. Perhaps a little less brightness in that central area might have lifted the score even further. Umbrella, 12, 12, 12, 36 gold, Cornet apple. So many umbrellas. Clever idea drawing attention to the one red one, perfectly placed on the third, which creates a focal area and a place for the eye to rest. Pay attention to the small bright area on lower left. Wild Daisy, 12, 10, 9, 31 gold, Joan Young. The daisy is well positioned in the frame, and the petals give the viewers strong leading lines to follow. There seems to be a lot of black spots on the petal. Bracketing the flower will give you a greater area of flower in focus. Pennywise, 14, 12, 10, 36 gold, Vicky Street. Technically very well done. Dancing Petals, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Des Fantonda. Lovely movement in the pretty petals. The vertical crop creates a strong composition. Shadows on lower left petals could be lightened slightly. Make a Wish, 12, 12, 12, 36 gold, there's Van Tonda. The lighting has been well done and has made the image pop. The detail and color are exquisite. The only issue are the two stems. Try and remove the one stem and give a little more light and you will have a winner. Apparently inanimate, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Minky Good brand. I get what the photographer was aiming for, but yeah, the whole image is soft. The biggest head and face at least should be sharper, but otherwise technically well done. More free, 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, Pune Apple. Lovely warm color palette in this image, which conveys a strong story. The hair and dress adds to the motion. Subject could be more prominent with a little dodging on the highlights and a touch more contrast would help her pop. The soft edge, this is a
But I can't remember what it's called.
triptych. I know it was something, it's a triptych. Okay. The soft edge, 12, 14, 9, 35 gold, Carol Phillips. Beautiful, gentle image, focusing on lines and various shades of green. This could be placed on somebody's wall and will give them great pleasure. Our club don't do triptychs, so Leon's done one or two, yeah. Mystic Motion, 11, 11, 9, 31 gold, Leon Hayes. These soft and sensuous shapes are really well done, but sadly my eyes repeatedly drawn out of the frame in the top left corner since the curves form strong leading lines. In my personal view, placing the exit point in the lower right corner would make a huge improvement. Resting with a Smoke, 11, 12, 8, 31 gold, J Nubber. You have managed to convey the warm character of the model, one that draws you in. Good mono conversion. Try not to crop close to any limb joints. Limb joints. The crop is too close under the knees, and always try and make the model turn the legs slightly to the side to avoid such a dominant look of the hands and knees. Image well worth reworking. I think that's the point of dominance. Tina, 13, 13, 10, 36 gold, Mark Gordon. A strong portrait where the color in both the dress and hair had worked well. The color of the eyes works well with the orange. The highlights could be toned down a tad. Did you mean this to be high key? Okay. Peaky Blinders, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Melanie Knight. This is nicely composed and monochrome is appropriate. Unfortunately, the girl's face and arms are very blown out while the male figure is well exposed. Perhaps she was just included in the background toning, but she needs to be brought down. It's funny. Okay. Street Vendor, 12, 13, 10, 35 gold, Jan Lens. Delightful portrait with huge impact in street photography. Well done. Pay attention to the light areas around the hats at the top of your picture. Foz Falls, 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, Festival. A pleasant landscape where the author has clearly shown the foreground of the image, which has most of the interest. The saturation could be reduced slightly and highlight reduced as well, and shadows lightened with a slight increase in contrast. You said it was a short walk. 11, 12, 9, 32 gold, Nyasha Godoka. This beautiful image could appear in any of a number of categories, such as wildlife or negative space. However, it is well placed here and it shows the wideness of the desert landscape, which dwarfs the animals. However, there appears to be a clutter or halo all along the skyline above the dunes, so perhaps this is a sharpening artifact. The bird question mark above the left-hand gemsbook could have been removed. And I can't. Oh, there, and the bee.
Oh, on the
Yeah.
top, okay.
Okay. One more. Kalahari Moon, 9, 11, 9, 29 silver. Lovely color contrast between the moon and the cool blue sky. However, the moon looks very saturated and rather cut out. The landscape is a little soft and dark compared to the sky. Try slightly lifting shadows in contrast. A stronger composition could be attained by placing the moon on the thirds. Okay. Junior winner, Ernest
Ernest.
Priest. And senior winner, Rob Hart. And if the scores are equal, then the judges then get to it then goes to a fourth judge who then decides which one is the winner. Okay. We're going into technical challenge. Gosh, what is the
Oh,
time?
yeah.
Okay, go and save.
So it is 10 to 8. Do you guys want to take a break first? Okay, can we please catch the lights? People on Zoom, we're just catching a quick break. So if you give us about 7.5 minutes, I think that should be sufficient. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, we are returning, and I have to say we're still 17 strong on Zoom, which is super nice. Well done. We're glad everyone's here. It's raining a bit here, so but it seemed, yeah. So if we talk louder and softer, it's because of the rain. Okay. Okay, everyone, we're gonna start again. There's Paul now. Can we please catch the lights? Okay, let's start. Technical challenge. We'll just go. Okay. Meet the judges. So it's the same judges. Okay.
Okay. A flaming Christmas present, 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, Alex Davey. The Gloriosa Superba stands out well, but the background seems incorrect, and the texture in the background doesn't work for negative space.
Oh yeah, the theme was negative space.
As above, so below, 11, 12, 9, 32 gold, Jason Johnston. Perhaps not quite enough space, but still a very nice image. This bird is certainly a key part of it. Bad Feather Day. Is this someone that's DQ? Bad Feather Day, DQ, outside of date range. Okay, it's got to be taken on or after the 1st of November 2025. Okay. Big Red, 11, 12, 9, 32 gold, Laura Smith. The open space and width. Sorry. The open space into which the rooster is looking improves the image and keeps you turning your eye back to the dominant red of the rooster's comb. Corridor of Light, 13, 11, 10, 34 gold, Martin Agius. The empty space is quite busy, but still it meets the challenge. Fragmented Shore, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Martin Agius. Good monoconversion showing the textures and contrast. Composition could be enhanced by repositioning yourself more to the right to have the foreground rocks running at an angle into infinity. Future Bloomer. I want to get rid of this thing at the bottom. Okay. Wait. There we go. Future Bloomer, 13, 12, 9, 34 gold, Laura Smith. The complementary background works in the image and keeps your eye returning to the beautiful petals of the rose. A reduction in the pinks and reds to the right of the rose will improve the image. Globetrotter, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Jason Johnston. I wonder if you any more of that wonderful sky available in the frame. It might have drawn more attention to itself as empty space. In the Architect's Shadow, 14, 12, 11, 37 gold, Martin Agius. Congratulations on thinking out the box and capturing the subject at the exact moment in the correct light. A very strong image that suits the monoconversion, the light and the shadow add to the interest. East Street Bridge, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, J Nubber. The author has put a lot of effort into the composition of this image and produced a pleasing result. The image in this category could be slightly improved if the person was more to the right in the image, or if you could crop the image from the right to give you a greater negative space impact. Flying into white space, 10, 11, 10, 31 gold, Dylan Evans. Although the bird is quite large in the frame, we do see a large amount of empty space ahead. We done. Gibson grayscales, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, J Nubber. A strong moody image conveying a clear story. The diagonal sweep of the pavement pulls the eye straight to the subject. The long shadow adds to the drama and impact. Pay attention to the very bright areas on the pavement. Try subtly pulling down curves on the pavement, which would also make the subject stand out more. Lone Duck, 11, 12, 11, 34 gold, Leslie Marchant. The open space in this image makes the observer explore the image repeatedly with you trying to find the subject or point of interest. Needs a lot more texture and contrast to give image more interest. Metallic Beauty, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Tony Harley. This is well composed and the colors and focus on the bird are very good, but that negative space is almost too empty. Power, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, Leslie Marchant. A striking image with wonderful sun rays in contrast to the moody sky, showing great negative space and the vast and expansive vista. To improve composition, try cropping off a little more off the top, just enough to emphasize the light rays more. Renzo Piano Stairs, 13, 14, 10, 37 gold, Jane Nubber. An excellent image with tremendous contrast. The black and white conversion has been well done. The shadows from the main figures give the feeling of movement. For a 2-star, this is really excellent image, which should do so well in salons. Century in Red, 12, 11, 9, 32 gold, Tony Harley. This doesn't meet the challenge, but unfortunately the image is a little soft and noisy. Could have toned the sky patches down a bit. The Fisherman, 12, 12, 8, 32 gold, Tony Harley. Strong use of negative space. One bird on one perch with plenty of room to look into supports the narrative. Try some selective clarity and contrast on the kingfisher, which would help it pop against the negative space. A great tit. 998, 26 silver. This image has a few issues which has impacted on the score. The exposure is too dark, and this can be improved with changing it in Lightroom or Photoshop. The white on the bird's face and neck will be problematic if the exposure is increased too much. There are distracting branches in the background, and unfortunately, the image is not sharp. Full water, 10, 12, 7, 29 silver. An interesting image, but no real negative space. Finch, 10, 9, 8, 27 silver. Great use of negative space. However, the bird is rather underexposed and therefore lacks clarity and blends in with the background. Try lifting shadows on the bird just a bit. Flight, 9, 11, 9, 29 silver. Looking at the picture, you imagine the vastness of the sky where the rock pigeon is coming. A reduction in the texture and contrast of the sky might improve the image. There are several dust spots in the image. Friendship, 11, 12, 9, 32 gold, Sandra Comrie. This is a lovely picture of 2 young girls, but I think that less grass and more sky would have been better. Going Nuts, 12, 9, 9, 30 gold, Nyasha Gadoka. Gorgeous mono-conversion of the squirrel showing all the detail which enhances good separation from the background. Pay attention to the little bright areas on the left of the image. House on the Hill, 11, 11, 9, 31 gold, Sandra Comrie. The position of the hill separates the image into 2 separate frames and does not give you the feeling of negative space. There also seems to be an issue with the processing as the grass seems to look unnatural. Ice Cold Fire, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, Minky Goodbrand. This is a well-shot image but lacks the necessary space around the subject. It's a big world out there. 10, 11, 11, 32 gold, Mark Gordon. Lovely feeling of negative space with a good exposure. The duck itself lacks a little sharpness and detail. Always try and wait until the subject is facing more side on instead of looking away. Misty Hills, 10, 13, 10, 33 gold, Mark Gordon. A moody image well composed and edited. The open space adds interest into the area where the tree is, and this gives the image the feeling of vast open spaces and inclement weather. Misty Midlands, 10, 9, 10, 29 silver. The small tree is not a strong enough subject, but there is plenty of space to meet the challenge. It's quiet now. Morning quietness, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Sandra Comrie. Lovely serene setting in the late evening light. Negative space has been achieved, however, the paddle border is placed to the extreme left, leaving no space for him to enter into. Try a gentle increase in brightness on the subject to strengthen the impact. Beware of chromatic aberration, and the sentence is cut off.
Pull it up down. Remember, it's not the PDF, so you can.
Oh, is it? This is in. This is no. This is all.
Okay.
This is like 1994 Excel spreadsheet. This is the old version, so it does nothing.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Next one. It will be on the website, so.
Okay. Nailed it. 9, 11, 8, 28 silver. A busy image where the poles are dominant and not the nails. The water balances the poles in attracting your attention. There needs to be more open space in the image. Poppy fruits, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Joan Lindiger. Perhaps this might have been better without the three right-hand side fruits so as to give more open space, but it still does well. Seeding Sissy, Stacey, feeding Stacey, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, Gustav de Vet. Good use of negative space and just enough depth of field to separate the subject nicely from the background. Attractive colors with the diagonal grasses leading one's eyes straight to the bird. Twiggy, 11, 13, 10, 34 gold, Minky Goodbrand. The other negative space focuses your attention on the positive space. The smoke, and with it being lighter in color, they also attracts the eye. A different abstract negative space image, well done. Amazed, 10, 12, 10, 32 gold, Doug Cupithwaite. It certainly meets the challenge, but it's a pity that the person has turned so far away from us. The wife. Catching a ride, 9, 11, 12, 32 gold, Diane Backhouse. Soft, even light, the insect is well exposed. However, the head appears a little soft and could be slightly sharpened. Pay attention to the distracting spots above the leaf. Composition could be strengthened by cropping a tad more off the bottom to give a more horizontal feel. Early morning meeting, 10, 11, 8, 29 silver. The details and shapes across the image make the viewer's eye move around the image and does not emphasize the positive space, the people. Foam nest frog, 9, 11, 11, 31 gold, Diane Backhouse. Very nicely done with sharp focal point on the frog's eye. The border is too wide and the color is a distraction. The image does not need a frame, but keep it to 1 pixel wide in a muted shade of gray. However, I did not mark you down for this. Misty Walker, 11, 9, 11, 31 gold, Liesel Cupithwaite. A serene, contemplative image conveying a strong story and negative space. Composition could be stronger had you placed the subject more to the left rather than so centrally. Water Lily, 9, 12, 7, 28 silver. A bright and busy image with highlights appearing around the lily leaves. The focus is clearly on the flower due to the color. The image is cluttered and gives you a feeling there is more going on and that you still need to look further into the. You'll have to wait till the web to see what else is there.
I'm at the
You've gone back.
That
Oh,
was, there
okay,
was, it's
it's slightly different, yeah. Whimsical, 10, 11, 10, 31 gold, Diane Backhouse. Well photographed and it certainly meets the challenge. Try a horizontal flip. Really? This is late afternoon Sadara. Oh, okay. Late after, I suppose light. Late afternoon Sadara. 9, 12, 11, 32 gold, Paul Nordia. Attractive play of light on the tree leaves which stand out against the dark background. Composition feels rather tight for the subject, negative space. Left kick, 12, 11, 11, 34 gold, Heidi Taylor. The orange marker attracts the viewer's attention and almost divides the image. The image could be far stronger in this category if those markers were removed. Peekaboo, 10, 11, 9, 30 gold, Heidi Taylor. I'm not sure that having the dusty on the midline was a good idea. The road in front and the pavement above it are both strong elements which compete for attention. Try shifting the frame around a little. Wagtail, 10, 9, 9, 28 silver. Negative space beautifully achieved with the correct composition, giving the bird space to look into. The image appears rather noisy, which degraded the sharpness and clarity of the image. Try denoising slightly in post. Arable lands, 13, 12, 11, 36 gold, Joan Young. A pleasing image where both the bales and the house attract your attention. There is a lot of distractions in this image with the beautiful clouds and the brighter parts of the. This is fun. Dewdrop, 11, 11, 8, 30 gold, Tracy Rhodes. The dewdrop is so small in the frame that it is almost invisible. Instead, the flower captures the attention, and especially that orange patch against the right-hand border. There is certainly space, but this is secondary. Emergence, 9, 11, 10, 30 gold, Jan Lens. I appreciate all the negative space on the right. However, the composition could be much stronger had you photographed the subjects further away and preferably walking towards you to create the negative space where it counts, as the subject appears rather too close for the title Negative Space. Ground Squirrel, 9, 12, 9, 30 gold, Melanie Nike. Here the negative spaces help the image by emphasizing the main subject. The contrast between the ground squirrel and the background also helps the image, a good example of negative space. In the waterfall, 10, 12, 9, 31 gold, Jan Lens. There's not really any negative space in this image. Lookout, 13, 12, 10, 35 gold, Bainat Lens. Congratulations on a very well composed, sharp, and well exposed image that conveys the subject negative space. Moon, 10, 13, 12, 35 gold, Cornet Apple. Another good example of, another good example of negative space clearly focuses your attention on the positive space moon and the interesting details on the surface of the moon. Mossy, 11, 12, 10, 30, 33 gold, Bainad Lens. Well photographed and with subject well separated from the background, but it would be an improvement if you could mute the background a little. On top, 12, 11, 11, 34 gold, Melanie Nike. Excellent scale of a small human in a vast landscape conveying negative space so appropriately. The golden light shows all the beautiful textures in the rock. Well done. Santa's Little Elf, 11, 12, 10, 33 gold, Cornet Apple. A well-captured image using the negative space. Unfortunately, the author needs to remove the dust spots and dimples and the background on the wall. You can see it's a wall with him. Standing tall, 12, 12, 11, 35 gold, Cornet Apple. Well done, it certainly meets the challenge rules. The skeletal tree, 12 gold, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Joan Young. A strong composition using the tree as the subject against a vast, interesting sky. The leading branches lead one's eye into the landscape, aware of the banding around, and be aware of the banding around the tree. Tin Man, 10, 12, 9, 31 gold, Bainat Lens. A pleasing image which are the focus of the man is of the man fishing. The highlights need to be reduced and the twig or stick in the top right corner can be removed. Waiting for the race to begin. 12, 11, 11, 34 gold, Jan Lens. The empty space talks to the upcoming composition. One feels that they're going to be running some distance before the day is done. Ever watchful blue-headed agama, 10, 12, 12, 34 gold maxi holder. These lizards are so attractive and fascinating. You capture the colors so well with good exposure. I feel competition could be much stronger by placing your lizard on the left, looking into the picture with a slightly tighter crop, as such a vast cement background is rather overpowering in this instance. Kingfisher hovering, 11, 11, 8, 30 gold Terry Byrne. The pied kingfisher is well captured, but the busy background has reduced the impact the image would have. Pied kingfisher on branch, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold Terry Byrne. This bird is the subject, but there's lots of relevant space around it. Red bishop in the lotus plants, 12, 11, 8, 31 gold Terry Byrne. Such beautiful colors using the green background to complement the red bishop with abundant negative space. I feel the image could be cropped a little more to emphasize the bishop, which appears very small. Seagull on the scrounge, 13, 12, 11, 36 gold maxi holder. Well captured seagull just off center with a strong blue sky has emphasized your attention. If the gull was moved slightly to the left, the image would be stronger in this category. Stinging sand, 10, 12, 10, 32 gold maxi holder. The subject looks tired, but he still has a great distance to go.
That's good.
Bug viewpoint, 11, 12, 7, 30 gold Rob Hart. A sharp, strong image with good exposure. The clear diagonal stems give a feeling invading the negative space. A shallower depth of field would have been more.
Da-da-da-da.
Dancing Jewel on Poppy, 14, 12, 9, 35 gold Rob Hart. The toning down of the background will pop the dragonfly and bring back the highlights on the poppy seed. This would focus your attention on the dragonfly. Home Builder, 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, there's Fantonda. The bird is tack sharp, but the negative space is too busy to really meet the challenge. Is that dancing? Wait. Oh. Yeah. Plumbago, 13, 11, 10, 34 gold Rob Hart. Well done on a most attractive image. The Plumbago leans into the beautiful bokeh background, creating great negative space.
Looks painted.
Yeah, so the courting is about to begin. 12, 12, 9, 33 gold, there's Fantonda. A strong image in this category using the leading lines of the leaves to focus your eye on the frog. Try to increase the exposure on the frog's eyes using the radial gradient in Lightroom. Yum yum. 11, 12, 13, 36 gold, there's Fantonda. The bird is the subject, but the space around it is rounded. The bird is the subject, but the space around it really well in collaboration with it. There's a bird missing. There's a word missing. Very nicely done. I'm running out of words. Into space, 10, 11, 13, 34 gold, Carol Phillips. Definitely nailed the negative space. However, the timing makes the plane feel as if it's going out of the picture. Composition could be stronger if one saw the front of the plane instead of the back. Lost in a Sea of Green, 13, 12, 9, 34 gold, Leon Hayes. Well captured. The only thing the image needs is toning down the bright area in the top right part of the image. On the lookout, 12, 12, 10, 34 gold, Leon Hayes. The bird is well separated from the space behind it. That light patch could perhaps have been toned down a bit. Pastel Incas, 13, 12, 10, 35 gold, Leon Hayes. Such a pretty, pleasing image. The shadow depth of field has complemented the composition. Congratulations. And the junior winner, Renzo Piano Stairs, Jane Nubber. Another parcel coming. And senior winner, Yum, yum.
Yes.
Okay. Are we gonna be doing more?
What
Almost
time is
up
it?
to 8. You want to do more or do you want? Yes, okay.
Okay.
I'll open it for you, Heidi, and I'll put which we're gonna do through the window. Yeah,
Yeah, KZN.
just then open the 1997 ECMA. Actually, it's 2010, but it's close. Was there only one here? Was there only one judge and Heidi? Oh, yes, there was.
Anyone?
Okay, hard. And then you make it smaller for you, so you can see. Here we go.
Meet the judge. Peter. What's that surname? Henkosh. Henochsberg. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Daydreamer, 10 gold, Dina Adams. An interesting take with the model well placed in the window frame and the subject's face nice and sharp and very well lit. One has an emotional response to his pensive mood, making the image successful. The very wide central frame, sadly, distracts a little, and had this been less distracting, I would have scored it higher. Embattled, 11 gold, Jason Johnston. A well-framed image with interesting subject matter. The story draws one in. Who is living in the shell of a building? The conversion to black and white has been well managed, with no whites being blown out. May I make a few suggestions that may, or not, enhance the image? A very thin dark grey border would help contain the image. The top left and right seems to fade out into the background. Alternatively, lift the shadows ever so slightly so that the eye doesn't wander. Perhaps the left could be cropped a bit. It doesn't really add anything to the image. Nicely done. Hanging out, 11 gold, Case de Val. A lovely image, sensitively processed. The sky and grass are not oversaturated. Well done. The train's reflection provides a nice symmetry and point of interest, and the train moves the eye into the image. Check your horizon to see if it is level. Nicely done. Hard Stare, 10 gold, Dina Adams. This is a well-converted black and white image with an interesting subject who is well lit and in sharp focus, with a catchlight in both eyes. A suggestion: one cannot help but compare images when two similar are submitted in the same session. Perhaps this one could have been held over for either a black and white or a portrait competition. My other comments are similar to the color version. Passing Echoes, 8 silver. This image has so much potential and interest of a passing glimpse out of a window of, I presume, public transport. The blur gives a sense of both movement and speed. Sadly, the pitch black surround is broken up by something on the right and above that I can't make out. Perhaps lift the shadows so that there is more detail in the dark part, and if it adds to the image, frame it with very small border. But if it doesn't add anything, then crop it out. The subject matter can and should stand in its own right. But, okay, perusal, 7 silver. In this image, there is so much to see, perhaps too much. I'm not really sure where to focus my attention. Is it the part of the ruin seen through the window, or is it the background, which incidentally is out of focus and does not truly add to the image? Some good cropping might help, or move closer to the window to take in more of the ruin. Oh well, a good excuse to take another trip. Rear guard, 8 silver. An interesting image with so much potential. The lead-in line of the seat continues onto the train track, which helps. But there is an interesting phenomenon here from which we can learn. Your horizon is level, I checked. Yet visually it looks uneven because you are to the left side of the lead-in line, giving the optical illusion that the right side looks lower than the left, which is distracting. The Lone Diner, 12 golds, Martin Agius. This is an excellent street photography image. Well done at catching this moment, which is humorous given the man's expression of being caught in the act. My only critique is that the left disappears into darkness and the horizontal top wood distracts because it is too bright on the left, taking the eye out of the image. Try and see what it looks like if you bring up the shadows just a bit and perhaps burn or lower the highlights on the left just a smidge. Through the Pane, 8 silver, an interesting street photography shot of life on the outside, as I presume you are on the inside. This being said, I cannot tell where the right side of the image ends and only the top left is visible to me, but it doesn't add to the image. A tighter crop, or if you wanted more of the right in view, you could lift the shadows a bit and this would have got you a higher score. Window shopping or a pasture, 11 gold, Laura Smith. You nearly got a commendation, but only because I used to farm sheep. This lovely pastoral scene, centrally composed, has a clever and witty metaphorical title of the sheep window shopping. Given how bad stock theft is, the window shopping could be a two-way street. Nice and sharp and good saturation of the greens, not over the top. Wish to be there and not in this hospital. 10 gold, Dina Adams. This image has a good storyline to it. The reflections of the inner view of hospital ward with privacy curtain, wheelchair, trolley and basin makes our feel for the patient who would rather be having pizzas or hamburgers. It's a well-told story, but I had to search for it. Technically, there are issues as to what to focus on, but due to the story, it gets you a gold. Convalescence, 9 silver. The title leads the viewer into the story, which is that this horse is injured or ill and is being stable to convalesce. The central composition works, but watch out for perspective. The left is truly perpendicular, the right not. The bottom is horizontal, but not so the top of the frame. The fluorescent light is slightly blown out, reduce the highlights. On the right side, where the natural light is, you could also be brought down the exposure a bit. If you selected the subject and lifted the shadows while pushing the background darker, it would have put total focus on the horse as a subject and not on the busyness of the stable. Life at the end of the tunnel, 8 silver, clever title and subject perspective, but I'm not sure that the lack of detail and the graininess of the shadows really gives one the sense of or feel of a tunnel. Nice concept though, perhaps try to rework it a little. No. Looking for Faith, 12 gold, J Nubber. This is an emotive street photography image with the silhouetted supplicant standing in stark contrast to the very richly ornate inside of the church. The lighting has been very well managed. Well done. Street view, 12 gold, J Nubber. This is a very complex image which, despite having stared at it for a long time, I still cannot quite fathom. It is nonetheless fascinating, with well-managed black and white conversion and a lot of interest points making one really look hard at the image. Well done. The view, 13 com, J Nubber. Oh yes. The subject is perfectly sharp and very well lit, giving the complexities of getting her to stand out against the bright background. Very nicely done. This tourist was just too pooped to even bother to look, leaving the binoculars to view the scene all on its own. Lovely story depicted. Through the Mesh, 9 silver. This is an interesting, fairly monochromatic abstract that doesn't offer much for interpretation other than one's emotional response. The central composition certainly focuses one's attention on the subject matter and the curves, lines, shapes, and forms, having pleasing on the eye. There's something about what is in focus on the mesh which confuses, as the depth of field just doesn't work for me. Interesting. Water on the window, 9 silver. This abstract of water drops is pleasing to the eye. The orange highlight with grey background works well. However, there's a banding of the colors in the mid to upper part of the image, which to me looks like a processing error. smoother gradient would have brought this image a higher mark. Caught blue-handed, 8 silver. Not being familiar with toys, I'm assuming that the image is taken with a macro lens of a smelly small action figure. The subject is very nicely lit with colors that work very well. Macro is tricky for its shallow depth of field. The focus point appears to be the breastplate, and consequently the face, which should be the focus point, is slightly soft, and so it gets marked down. If this is a macro, perhaps try focus stacking. Framed frolics, 8 silver. This cute image has so much potential, but sadly its technical management has let it down. The bright light to the left in front of the dogs is too bright, perhaps even blown out, and the dogs themselves are too much in shadow. Try pulling down the highlights, then select subjects and brighten the shadows a little to make the dogs pop more. They disappear in the background light. Framing myself, 9 silver. This image might be seen as a holiday snapshot, but it is successful for a number of reasons. The color is excellent. Nothing is blown out or oversaturated. The posing of the model is also well managed. The only technical problem, which often occurs when processing flat blue, is that lens spots show up easily, and there are quite a few in the framed sky, which loses you points. High cloud, 7 silver. I presume that this is taken from an aeroplane window at sunset. The colors are nice, but it is a tricky shot due to the bright sun, dark cloud, and low light earth. It's difficult to successfully balance out these three lighting situations without bracketing the images and combining in post-processing. Bracketing would not be possible in a plane. Consequently, the image becomes flat with too little detail in the cloud and halos where sun meets cloud. Nature's Wet Window, 10 gold, Minky Goodbrand. The colors in this image are absolutely beautiful, but this sort of shot requires a macro lens with very narrow depth of field, and getting the correct focal point is really difficult. I think the focus is not correct in this image, but despite this, as an otherwise abstract image, it still receives a gold. If possible, try focus stacking to improve your results. Nature's Window, sorry, 9 silver. The colors are lovely and the concept is fine, but the window or framed area is just too wide for the tiny little subject, which is a bit soft. The focus point is the front of the cactus rather than the bird. Nice concept, which you should try again. Opening up, 9 silver. An interesting image where the reflection of the trees outside are well blended into the hair of the model. Please experiment and try a tighter crop. Some of the top on the right could possibly be taken out, and this would focus purely on the subject without the distraction. Parallel, 12 gold, Mark Gordon. Is there such a thing as a graphical abstract? I'm not sure, but this image just works due to its simplicity and well-managed black and white conversion. Well done. Peeping through, 8 silver. Finding the balance between the dark pond and the lily pad, which are well lit, is difficult. The concept in this image is pleasing, but the technical issues need attention. The lily pads are too bright, so bring down the highlights a bit. Then decrease the shadows to bring up the fish and make them pop more, or rather than the distracting bright pads. The problem you may run into is that, if overdone, you may introduce noise in the dark pond. Also, the distraction on the upper left border needs attention and removal.
I don't know if I'd ever get that right. I suppose they were talking about my photo. Nearly done.
Someone's mic is on.
Peeping through, no, hang on, where are we? Sorry. Rebuilding My Shattered Dreams, 11 gold, Minky Goodbrand. Love the title for this abstract, and as a former social worker, I wish you a speedy recovery. Lovely colors and clever concept, well photographed, quite arty. RGB Through the Blinds, 10 gold, Mark Gordon. This is a very pleasing abstract and the colors work very well. Would a very thin border perhaps enhance the image? Question mark. Also, the little nodules on the left border edge distract and take my eye out of the image somewhat. If you need to see a bit more. Seat 24F, 11 gold, Nyasha Godoka. Clearly you enjoyed your window seat. Lovely travel image. Beautifully crisp, clear and sharp, focused front to back. This type of image one sees in a magazine. Processing has been managed well with no blowout of whites nor banding of the sky. Surveillance, 10 gold, Joan Lindiger. This image is pleasing and the title aptly describes the vigilant parent. The umbrella-like leaves are interesting and well lit. Sadly, the subject is not totally in focus. The focus point is the front of the nest and not on the bird's eye where it should be, but it is still good enough to get a gold. View from bed, 7 silver. This is clearly a lovely setting that lends itself to good images. Sadly, this image is not successful due to just being too busy. The tree detracts from the lake and houses, and the very thick window frame breaks things up in the wrong places. Perhaps you could try a tighter crop, cutting out everything on the left and see what that does to enhance the image.
Right. A stopping now.
Appreciated.
Why is it excruciatingly boring?
So long.
Visitor, 9 silver. So sweet, very sharp subject in full detail. The central composition is a legitimate form. It just doesn't really work for me in this instance. Try cropping, but where to crop is the question. One wants the context, but not for the subject to get lost in context. Definitely on the right would work, and some of the top two could be cropped out, maybe. You could even try flipping it horizontally and getting the animal more on a third's point. Easel through the window, 6 bronze. The backlight makes for interest through the glass. However, the image is generally in rather soft focus and the perspective could be improved. The lines that should be parallel aren't. The window tapers to the bottom. Northwest passage from the air, 6 bronze. This beautiful landscape has not been processed well. Technically, it is very noisy, hazy, and lacking in detail. The aeroplane is, unfortunately, also very distracting. Peaceful ocean, 9 silver. This tranquil silhouette is very nicely handled. My only critique is that there is a black almost all around the border, so the image bleeds into the background. Our eyes like to see photographs in boxes, so to speak. Well, my brain works like that. I think very thin dark gray border would complete this image well and would have brought it a higher score. 2 champagne glasses, 10 gold, Doug Pupithwaite. This image is so busy, yet it works due to the clean lines and how these lines coincide with thirds. Pity about the woman having a white clown's nose that once seen becomes a bit distracting. Yeah. Webbed window, 6 bronze, nice concept as a bit of an abstract, but the only part that is in focus is the right side of the window frame. The image lacks focus point of interest and clarity. Work does not wait, 9 silver. A good street photography shot taken in tricky morning light. The window portion needs more space to breathe. It would be more powerful with the entire window rubber in the frame, and then you would possibly have an all blue border from the tram or bus without having a cut off white 2 on the border or a rubber exiting the image. Christmas window, 9 silver. A lovely concept brought down by the somewhat stiff and unnatural pose from the model, which I guess was necessary for her to hold due to low light. Perhaps it could be improved if the model was looking at what her hands are working on, rather than the outward stare, which doesn't gel with what her hands are doing. This concept would be worth working with some more, as it's very interesting. Mhlongo views, 8 silver. Lovely colors, sky and sea well processed, and an interesting dusk cityscape. The left, very thick second on the window frame pulls its image down. Notice that the right side, not only thinner frame, but is also better placed in the image. If you weren't able to adjust the composition with your feet, perhaps a crop of the left side would give more balanced image. As it is, it feels unbalanced. Always stay close, 7 silver. The balance of the outdoor light with sufficient light and detail of the indoor brickwork has been well managed. The greens are just slightly oversaturated. A nice concept, but as subject matter goes, this image seems a bit lacking. Down under, 12 gold, Wynand Lens. The emotional response to this image was visceral. Instant claustrophobia. It's good when an image can evoke such responses. In addition, this photo has excellent use of elements such as leading lines and vanishing point. The lighting is excellent and the black and white conversion has been very well managed with a full dynamic range without blowouts. My eye, however, catches on the bulky electrical box on the left and does not travel beyond that to the left border, and this sadly brings this image down from a com to an upper gold. Perhaps a tighter crop would have done the trick. It is, however, a wonderful image. Durban Crossing, 13 com, Wynand Lens. Normally, when confronted with such a busy image, one tends to tune out, but this image just works. The eye cannot rest anywhere but wants to travel all around the image to take in more. I found myself fully engaged with it. Black and white conversion has been very well done. An excellent street photography image. Happy Holidays, 6 bronze. This is sweet. However, it does not hold to one interest for too long after the words are read. The greens are also somewhat oversaturated. Looking outdoors, 7 silver. The light balance between inside and out has been well managed and it is a nice enough image, but there's no real point of interest in the image other than the window itself. Mama, 12 gold, Joan Young. A very good, nicely lit central composition portrait of Mama. It has a most interesting and weathered face with eyes in sharp focus. One could create one's own story about this woman, but the title limits the imagination from creating drama, such as someone feeling trapped. Lovely concept. Old broken window view, 6 bronze. An interesting frame, but sadly not too much of interest beyond the frame to provide the pop that one would want in a competition image. The greens seem a bit oversaturated too. Parisian Christmas market, 7 silver. A nice enough street photo, but all the reds make and color take my eye away from the main subject. Would a black and white conversion not have saved this image and also made it more street? ? Peeks through a window, 8 silver. This landscape is a strong concept and it is a pleasant view. However, the foreground is more in focus than the peaks, which is where one would want the focus to be. This is an example of where focus stacking could have produced a strong image. Also, there may be clouds, but they appear to be sensor spots, which kept distracting me. St. Mark's Campanile sunset, 8 silver. Beautiful colors in the sunset in the foreground is interesting and nicely lit. The lights are blown on the side of St. Mark's and the silhouette is overpowering and takes up too much space. I wonder if cropping part of the observer and the sky would not bring emphasis to where it should be and make it a stronger image. It certainly has potential to be a very strong image. Survival in the city, 8 silver. Survival in the city indeed. All that is left of a window box. Interesting image, nice lines and colors. However, there's lots of detail that detracts from what should be the focus point, the plant. A tighter crop may have brought greater focus to the plant without losing the story of a derelict building. I also wonder if a black and white conversion would do something. Question. 3 against blue sky, 4 bronze. What could have been a good and interesting landscape has unfortunately been let down badly in the processing of the blue sky, which shows very marked banding, possibly due to over-processing. Window to the Drakensberg, 10 gold, Jan Lens. A strong landscape image with beautiful colors that have been very well processed, especially the sky. It is nicely in focus from front to back, but technical management at a senior competitive level is important, and there appears to be a lens or sensor spot just above the distant peak. It may just be a cloud, but once seen, it cannot be unseen, and my eye kept traveling to it. You might just bring out the shadows a tad more on the left to put more detail on the rock frame, not to match, but to balance the right side. Thus, I gave a lower point than the image deserves. Water bomb chopper to the rescue, 8 silver. An action-packed photojournalism shot taken from a vehicle. Unfortunately, the focus on the chopper has been missed and the entire image is a bit soft. Looking out at Cathedral Peak, 13 com, Vicky Street. Could one find a more powerful view of the creation inside a church? Excellent black and white conversion that really works. Symmetry, lead and lines, balance, harmony, and excellently lit. A wonderful image. What the window at St. whatever church in Wales. Sorry. Before reading the title, my emotional response was a very druidish scene. It is pastoral, but the placement of the human interest models enhances the scene. It is, however, rather bland and grey, and I wonder if a black and white conversion would not help this image to reach its full potential. Watching the world go by, 11 gold, Vicky Street. When initially scanning their entries to get an overview, this image really stood out, and my response was, this is the winner. It's remarkable and excellent for its detail and sharpness in the window to the soul. Sadly, when viewing for longer to critique and score, I suddenly noticed all the out of focus, presumably nose on the right, and this really detracted from the power of the image. This has so much potential, but it needs a strong crop to show its fullness. Beautiful home for sale with sea views, 8 silver. The humorous title is slightly stronger than the image itself. The lighting has been well managed and the colors are interesting, but the image in its entirety lacks cohesion and oomph, but still enjoyable. Starting very young, 15 com, Leon Hayes. Wow, strong subject, superbly lit with great shadows on the face and catchlights in the eyes. Wonderful back and rim lighting, masses of interest and detail. Beautifully cropped, framed, and processed. A superb image. Very well done. Well done, Leon. The evolution of telecommunications. 11 gold, Leon Hayes. The humor in the title and jovial model are a lot of fun. Nice and sharp. The strong primary colors make the image pop. Something about the perspective and lines detracts a little for me. Nice image. And the junior winner is The View by Jane Abbott. And senior winner, starting very young, Leon Hayes.
So I'll give you a prints when we're done. Yeah. That's the translate.
Right there.
Yeah, that's fine. You can actually, because there was only me, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay, meet the judge. Yay.
Fire and Ice, 11 gold, Dina Adams. Wow, what an interesting technique used. Love the movement and energy. The middle feels a bit cluttered and it took me a moment to see the ice. Very good idea. Fish out of water, DQ, outside of date range. Melting My Frozen Flower, 13 Dina Adams. This image,
Sorry. So the theme was elements, if you guys were wondering. Remember, it was water, fire, earth, and wind. Yeah.
sorry. This image tells a nice story and very creative idea to freeze the flower. Well done. Monolith in Motion, 12 gold, Martin Agius. Love the mono conversion. This image tells a strong visual story. Well spotted. Candle in the Rain, 11 gold, Dylan Evans. One can feel the authentic vibe of the rain on the window. The image would be stronger if more raindrops were in focus. Fire, Water, Burn, 10 gold, Jay Nubber. I love the image, but the challenge element factor needs to be stronger. Raindrops on Leaves, 10 gold, Leslie Marchand. Nice bright colors, however, leaves are both partially sharp, so my eye jumps between the two. So I am trying more to find a place to focus, rather than look at the elements. Good try, maybe different crop would help. Sand, Sea and Sky, 11 gold, Joe Nubber. Definitely a contender for our KZN challenge. The person admiring the view adds to the story and takes the viewer's eye into the image. The element earth is strong here, with a bit of water. Droplets on Deck, 12 gold, Joan Lindiger. I'm waiting for that water to stay in the wood. The drops are well captured. To improve, try rotating the image to the left and pull back the highlights on the bright bits in post-processing. Earth, Wind and Fire, 10 gold, Minky Goodbrand. Very creative image. It feels like it should be an ad for some action hero. The story of the challenge elements could be stronger. Fire and Ice, 13 Mark Gordon. Really good image. It's clean with strong composition, good layering and processing. Love how the orange and blues work to enhance each other. Fireball, 11 gold, Mark Gordon. A good attempt with this image. The fire element is secondary, however, and the empty ball feels like it is creating a hole in the image. 'Geothermal Steam, 10 gold, Sandra Comrie. I see the story you're trying to tell, geothermal steam, but I'm not sure the steam is strong enough in the image. The image feels tonally flat. Perhaps if you played with the texture of the clouds so that the steam stands out a little bit more. Handle with Care, 11 gold, Nyasha Gadoka. I love the simplicity of this image. Be aware of overpowering borders. It must be slightly thinner and much darker. The viewer's eye goes to the brightest part of an image first, and that is our border in this case. I watered my chicken, 12 gold, Minky Goodbrand. The colors on the water drop and feathers are beautiful. I wouldn't mind having a chicken in this color. There is just enough in focus to keep the image interesting and mysterious. Impressionable Earth, 10 gold, Joan Lindiger. Creative try. Unfortunately, the image feels a little flat. Try bringing out some texture and pushing back the whites for a more contrasty look. Love Was Here, 12 gold, Nyasha Gadoka. Well done on capturing this image in low light and achieving such good focus. This is a very thoughtful and well timed. Sorry. Remembrance, 11 gold, Gustav de Vet. This is a special captured moment, thus makes it a special image. Just watch your whites in the flames and pull back in processing. Oh, sorry. Air and Water, 10 gold, Liesel Cooperthwaite. The water element is strong here, but the bright colors of the fish overpower, so I'd prefer if the fish were either very blurry, creative, or in focus. Good attempt. Dewdrops, 10 gold, Doug Cooperthwaite. Dewdrops on flowers are always beautiful to see. However, the image is overexposed, so your white roses and dewdrops are blown out. Quite a bit of noise in the background, which I feel does detract from the image. Fire Spirit, 10 gold, Doug Cooperthwaite. I can feel the heat from the fire. Well done. The smoke does make it quite busy and gives the effect of blur, so your fire is not sharp, and that being the main element, I would prefer my eyes to settle there. Set the world on fire, 12 gold, Liesel Cupithwaite. Such an interesting take on the challenge, fire and earth. Spend some time processing that flame and patrol your borders, top left. Colorful water, 10 gold, Heidi Taylor. Creative shot, but the blur seems a bit in between, either a lot more blur or a lot more sharps. Waiting for pizza, 10 gold, Heidi Taylor. Now we wait for pizza. It feels like the fire element comes secondary to the bricks around it. To improve, darken the bricks down so that the viewer's eye goes to the fire and stays there. For Frobbies at night, 12 golds, Melanie Knight. Beautiful shot and well captured. Try cropping off the bottom bit with the grasses so that the horizon is on the thirds. The water really pops then. Campfire, 12 golds, Jan Lens. Looking at this image, it draws you in. The centered composition is great. Great focus on the burning logs and lovely blur in the moving fire. Cypress Cave Wall, 12 gold, Jan Lens. You can hear that waterfall falling over the top. Good sharpness. Definitely an angle that we don't see much. Fierce Waters 1, 10 gold, Joan Young. Capturing water in the middle of the day could be a hard task that you handled very well. Ignis Aquaterra, 10 gold, Melanie Knight. I love this little guy, but the earth element comes as secondary. Good composition though, light, a little harsh. Reflection, 11 gold, Wynand Lens. Interesting take on the element of water. Good composition, perhaps the blacks in the reflections could be lifted a little to add more drama. Tree roots at Kenmo, 10 gold, Joan Young. Roots, what a good idea to represent the earth element. The image is slightly overexposed, the greens almost overpowers. Try toning the grass down and blurring, and then jack up the texture and contrast on the roots. Waves, 10 gold, Wynand Lens. Yes, the fire looks silky and wavy. Good focus on the logs and nice moving fire. Look, Mom, a leaf for you. 11 gold, Des van Tonder. This doggy has already stole so many hearts. The water splashes are well captured and tell a story of play. Splashy landing, 12 gold, Des van Tonder. Incoming, the story I see is the water splash, well captured. Every family has one. 12 golds, Leon Hayes. Such a good image, such thought in how to capture that unique person in a family. The photography is great and the processing really good. From Dust to Dust, 13 Leon Hayes, sorry. The earth element is so well represented here. What a great story. A little bright on the fingertips, so my eyes go there. Perhaps more light on the plant. Junior winner, Fire and Ice, Mark Gordon. Senior winner, From Dust to Dust. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so that's meeting one done. So yeah, thank you all for coming, and we still have 11 participants that made it through this meeting. Well done, guys, on Zoom as well. But yeah, it's lovely to have you all here. Does anyone have any questions or any comments? I'm a bit scared to ask that one.
Lots of lovely images, I think.
I also so I have to say, because I already put everything into the people's choice, and when you go through it, it just looks like so lovely. One thing I forgot to say, Nana, thank you to Jason and Wynand for sponsoring canvases. Sorry, I wanted to say Nana, I forgot. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, anything else?
Want to hand out the canvases?
Yeah.
Register.
Just make sure everyone's signed. Okay, so those that want to leave the meeting, you're more than welcome. We are done now. We made it through. Thank you, Laura. Let's go. Stop.